I think to serve, well, it's a great idea. Help people. It would be great.
Feel good about helping others.
So I can please God.
I made God.
Maybe I'll learn something new when I'm in Girl Scouts.
We work together through several activities and fundraisers to enrich the lives of the poor and the needy.
I want to serve other people in different ways.
Give hope to everyone. Helping the poor.
Trying to help those fortunate.
Helping those in need. People in need.
Serving people,
Giving people food.
They really need it.
If I were in a new position, I'd want somebody to help me.
Helping people that need help.
It's great to give back. It's like a win-win situation.
Serve helping the elderly.
I like serving the elders so they can have a better chance.
Especially at the music.
Many of those elders feel really lonely.
I like spreading joy.
I want to go around spreading joy to people and helping them. Help other people and encourage them.
And it's really fun to do it with your friends also.
It's fun, for sure. It's fun. You with your friends and everything. It's like also like you're helping people.
Just because you're small doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Don't give up hope that you're going to be okay.
No one is too young to serve.
That was great to watch. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having us. And we're here to share about the Hope Scouts program. And you saw from the kids, why they do it, right? Now I'm going to talk to the parents, right? Why should you do it? Because if you are anything like me, before you do anything, you want to know why, right? Especially if it takes time, especially if it's difficult, you want to know why you do it. So, something that's really important to us as parents is to teach our kids the ways of the Lord, right? So I'm going to read from Proverbs 22 and verse 6. It says, "Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they're old, they will not turn from it," right? So we want to teach our children to follow Jesus. And what better way to teach them to follow Jesus than do the things that Jesus did while he walked on the earth, right? So you think about his ministry, everything that he did, it was all about the poor. It was all about teaching and healing people and showing us how to live. But it was always very important, as he went around teaching us, he always, allowed people to get close to him. And he always stopped and listened to people. He always looked at people, even people who nobody else looked at. He looked at them. He spoke to people, the people that were untouchable, that nobody would speak to them. He spoke to them. He touched people, right? Bart was sharing about, the story of speed and mixing the speed with the dirt and putting the mud and touching people that nobody else would touch. But more importantly, Jesus loved people. And as parents of Hope Scouts, this is an opportunity to teach our kids how to do that. And like anything that we teach, right? It's not just about telling people, hey, go and do it. It's not like you're going to be sitting in your living room watching a game and say, okay, kids, go serve. You have to do it. The best way to show people how to do things is to show them with example, right? So as parents, one thing that I definitely would encourage you is to think about why you do this, to teach your children how to follow God, and then you have to teach by example. So now I'm going to turn it over to Isabel, who's going to talk about the early days of Hope Scouts and how everything came about. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Isabel Roman. So when I was in like second grade, I had a really good friend, and she like asked me if I could help her out. She was like working with the Red Cross when we were in second grade. Like I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what volunteering was. I hadn't really heard of it because we were so young. But she was like, "Oh, can you like help me distribute these little jars that she was collecting money into the different classrooms?" And so I went with her, and I would just stand there, and then she was like explaining to every single classroom of second graders how she was collecting money to give to the American Red Cross to help in their like relief efforts for a tsunami that had just occurred in Japan that year. And I remember thinking, whoa, this is crazy, like what's the Red Cross, like what's volunteering, like how can I get involved in something like this? Because all I remember was that she was talking about helping people, and I just thought that was really interesting. And so I remembered that there was an organization called Hope Worldwide at our church. So I was like, oh, like maybe I can talk about that with my mom. So I came home and I was like, oh mom, like this Hope Worldwide thing, like how can I help? And then she was like, oh, it's just for adults. And so I was like, why? Like why can't I like do something? Like I remember that like for MLK Day service and different events like that Central would take part in, my parents would always just like leave us with a babysitter, and they'd be like, oh, like we have this event, I'll see you tonight. And so then I was like, oh, like is there any way that I can get involved in this? And then she talked to Horatio, who's like the chapter director of Central. And so then we started like developing this idea of something like kind of like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, but it's Hope Scouts, so it's like both boys and girls just like working together like kind of like as like a sub-organization of Hope Worldwide. And so that like the whole like idea process was when I was in second grade, but it was several years before it actually became an organization that was like recognized by the church. And so I think like the thing that I like most take away from like the development of Hope Scouts is that like it wasn't me, like everyone's always like, oh, Isabel like found or like Central like founded Hope Scouts, and it's like it was definitely just God, like the way that it just developed. Like we were just like had this random idea, and then it just became this thing where there's like several troops like in different states and like all around the world, and that's totally just like something that completely 100% came from God. And he was like, wow, like I'm gonna bless this clueless little girl who's just like, oh, like what's volunteering, and like just branch it out into this organization that's like now helping a lot of different churches just worldwide. And I think that just like really serves as a testament of how much God values service from such a young age. And like one of the really big focuses of Hope Scouts is just like instilling like the morals of like humility and like wanting to imitate Jesus, like from when like the minds of like kids are still like impressionable, like you don't really like know what you're doing, and so then you just like grow up, like I just grew up like kind of doing Hope Scouts, but now like I've been like learning throughout my life like just what that means and like just serving God, and it's just been really great. So yeah, that's how it started.
Hi guys, I'm Sophie. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about some of the activities that we actually do as Hope Scouts and some of the ones that I like. So one of the activities that I like to do is a nursing home. So basically, like every single month, a group of Hope Scouts, or maybe even one sometimes, they go to the nursing home to basically go serve, encourage the residents that live there, and I enjoy doing that a lot because honestly, a lot of those people are so lonely there, or either that, or they just feel really hopeless. Like we try to go on my mom and I at least like once a month, like especially if nobody goes, like it's very like a priority to us. Like it's our event that we usually, commit to all the time. So like that's something that we do. And like every time we go, like there's just someone sitting by themselves, and they have a lot of stories to tell. Like they talk a lot about their childhood when they miss their childhood, they miss having friends, they miss their family. Like, and it's like really sad for me to like listen to them. But like at the same time, I know that they're being encouraged when I'm talking to them, when I'm having a conversation with them, because they lost those abilities to have a conversation because they don't have that the same life that they used to have. They got put in a nursing home, and just giving them snacks, just playing games with them, all of those things, like, they just love it. They're so encouraged. They always ask when we're coming back, and it makes a huge impact in their lives. Like, you would think it's something so small because, like, all of us, we talk to people on a daily basis, but, like, they don't really have someone to talk to on a daily basis, so it makes such a huge impact for them. So yeah, that's the nursing home. Another one is, we do this every single month. It's the bake sales. And they work out best because, like, people go crazy for, like, the empanadas there. And, like, everyone's like, oh, empanadas, we gotta go make that line. And some people come up with 5, and then, like, in 2 seconds, they're all gone. And then, like, what also helps is, like, the kids there, you know what also helps them stay? Like, sometimes they'll get free leftovers at the end. So, like, it'll motivate them to serve. They're like, okay, we gotta serve so we can get these free leftovers at the end. So they'll stay there, and they'll always ask every 2 minutes, is it free now? Is it free now? And then I'm like, okay, but you need to serve. So, like, just hold on. So I have to do that. Like, but, it teaches them to serve, It teaches them to, like, endure it. So, like, just like that, like, even though they might have a motivation for food, like, it still teaches them, like, the importance of serving, the importance of giving to other people, because, like, at the end, the money, it does go to brigades like El Salvador. Some of the money went to buy medicine for Guatemala, which I was able to go on that brigade with Hilda and some others, and Horatio and Nancy, like, they were also there. And that was a very good brigade. Like, it showed me, like, why we use this medicine, like, how it's being used, like, in other countries, and, like, just seeing, like, the pharmacists prepare the medicine that we bought from the money from, like, all of our events, like, and seeing how other people are, like, getting better from this, like, it just showed me, like, it's incredible, like, how, like, just us, making a small difference here, and after that, like, it just grows bigger and bigger to reach out to other areas of the world, because, like, the money that we raise, we buy the medicine, then it passes on to send the medicine to another country where other people use it, where they may not be able to afford it. Like, it all passes on, like, and you wouldn't think that sometimes, especially in the world that we live in, but, like, and, like, when you look at the bigger picture, it does, and it was just amazing to see that, like, it was great that I was able to see it. And, like, we also support families with the money, like the I Was Hungry program. We adopted 2 families that, and we usually, like, send Christmas presents to them. We send them money for food, like, and it all works out really well because, like, at the end, like, it shows how much we impact people just from, like, starting small. And it also connects to the garage sale, which we do, like, once a year, and that's, like, probably, like, the last event. I think that's, like, huge. And just, like, by raising a lot of money, we usually raise, like, $1,000 each time. It raises a lot of money, and, like, we send it, like, all around the world, like, not all around the world, like, we raise it for, like, I Was Hungry program, and, like, it goes to those families, again, like, it goes to the I Was Hungry program families, it could be even other families that even goes on the list, like, that are in the world that are part of this program, and overall, like, again, just money in general, like, we make the money, but we don't use it for our own reasons, we use it to support others, and, like, it's just encouraging to see how God just uses those little seeds and really makes them grow. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. I'm not used to microphone, so I hope you hear me. I wanted to share a little bit about my experience as a parent. Hope's House has been I guess one of the highlights of our family. We have so many memories, and it has allowed engaging, not just with our children, but with other children, and not just with parents, but with different ministries, campus, singles, empty nesters, whoever. We just recruit from whoever we can recruit to help us. And as a parent, I think something that I love is just being able to work with your children. So when my girls started, they were very little. I remember one of the first times that we met, we asked the kids, so what can we do? And then we came out with we had like a blackboard that we wrote like 20 things. And some of them were crazy ideas that we just said, okay, yes, we could do that, And at the end of the day, like the highlight was the bake sale. And that became like the first highlight that was very useful because the church faithfully supports the Hope Scouts, and I'm so grateful for the Kingdom that they are willing to buy the cookie even though they're not hungry. They are willing to just, okay, I buy you, and don't give me the change. because it taught them that people is willing to give, you know, and sometimes you don't see that in other parts, you know, that many times, I don't know if you have seen kids in lemonade stands, that nobody buys them the lemonade, you know, people just drive by, but it's so encouraging that all the bake sales, the church is there to buy it, and then eventually we came out, when people wasn't so much going for the sweets, we came up with a empanada idea that everybody wants to buy. So it has been so encouraging to see just the kids like engaging, giving their own ideas. The garage sales has created a lot of memories, not just because of what you get to sell, and you can get to put a face on somebody that's benefiting from that, but just people like coming over and you're able to share your faith, and the kids get to see that, and meeting people, and some people come the following year. Oh, you were the garage sale from the last year, you know, like, and then they see your t-shirts and they ask you, so what's hope? And you get to share about hope, and it's just amazing. And I think for me as a mom, it's like teaching opportunities. I love the nursing home because I don't know what God has for me one day. I don't really know, but I always tell them, like, would I go to a nursing home? Like, will you put me in a nursing home? Like, you know, like, it's great conversations because, like, they get to see what the nursing home looks like, what sometimes, you know, happen, you know, and how life develops. Like, you're very young, and at some point, we're all gonna be old, and we don't really know how we're gonna look like or how our house is gonna be like, and you just can make, you know, a tiny difference with these people. And I think also for me, it's just to be able to, like Paris was sharing, instill, you know, because I think it's a reminder for us. Sometimes as parents, we're so busy, or whatever, you're a college student, you're busy with school or whatever, and it may seem so hard to find, you know, time or to make it a priority to go to these places. And sometimes, like, my kids have taught me, like, you know, like, today's a nursing home, are we going? And, you know, and I feel like I'm not gonna say, oh, no, we're not going, you know, that's bad. So yeah, sure, we're going, you know, even though the day may be crazy. I think it gives us perspective on life, you know, like you just, you know, it just becomes part of you, of your family, you know, and ideas can always, you know, keep flowing, you know, and it's so great when the kids get to tell you, maybe Hope Scouts can help, or maybe we can do this, maybe we can help this person with that. So I just want to encourage you in whatever stage of life you are, maybe you're young, you're a kid, and you can, you know, call your parents and ask you to be part of this, or maybe you're just single, or you're just a college student, but you can support and be a mentor to these kids. Our children need mentors. They always need a big sister or big brother they can look up, you know, and it's not just the parents, but also, you know, we need the rest of the church, and that's what I wanted to share.
Wow, that was so encouraging. Thank you, Arturo, Isabel, Sophie, and Sylvia for sharing. I was already inspired by the things that Hope Scouts, you know, does, but now I'm even more inspired. So thank you so much. So with that, we're ending service. We are registering kids who want to join Hope Scouts here in Mercer. It is 12 o'clock. I think we have to be out of the building by 12:30. Yes. We have to be out of the building by 12:30. So if you want to register today, come straight to the table. If you want to register but can't today, then you can do that at another time. So please be mindful of the time that we need to be out of the building. Thank you.